Hello, thank you for joining. We'll wait another minute or two for more participants and then we'll kick off. See more people joining, so we'll let more people join before we'll start our tips and tricks session. Okay, we can see more people joining. For all people who are joining now, we will be starting very soon. As part of the functionality of the webinar, you have the chat. So at any point of time, you can post your question in the chat, and we'll make sure that we will get to the questions or during the Q&A session or during the presentation, depends on the nature of the question. Okay, we'll wait the last minute for last participants and we'll kick off. Okay, welcome everyone to the tips and tricks session on sun.store. So my name is Jędrzej. I'm the co-founder of sun.store and I'm responsible for product and technology. So basically, whatever you see, however it feels like, it's part of my responsibility. So today we'll talk mostly about payments, badges, and negotiations. So one of the key functionalities that we have on sun.store. The session will be conducted in English, and please don't forget that you can post your questions in a chat at any point of time, and we will get to those during our session or at the end at the Q&A time. So how do we get to the information on payments and badges? So let's start with our platform. So when you open the sun.store page, you can see straight away the categories that we focus. So you all know that we have solar panels, inverters, batteries, and accessories. And you can access different offers through browsing one of the selected categories, or if you type a specific product or a brand name that you're looking for. So let's assume we're looking for a Jinko 440. So I'm just typing the Jinko 440, and straight away I'm being taken to the list of results. So currently we have 12 results which meet the criterion of our search. So we can see some of the offers are grouped. So what does it actually mean? So what it means is that for this specific product, so for the Jinko, in this case 430, which is close enough to what we were asking for, there are currently 3 offers that are in place. As a buyer, I think it's very important to remember that on sun.store, we control the products database. What does it mean is that the product that you see here, so the Jinko, the 430, here we go. So we have a specific product page now. We are responsible for making sure that this is the correct product, and every seller that would like to add an offer has to add an offer to very specific product. They are not adding the products by themselves. So when you see here 3 offers for the specific product, they are all for this product, which in this case is a black frame 430 watt peak Jinko. You can see the details. You can get more details if you want. Of course, there's a description of the product, some diameters, and in majority, 99% of the cases, the manufacturers, they also have the specification of this file of the product, which you can also access on our platform. So what do we see here? Here we see that there are 3 offers which are for this specific product. So the first offer, first 2 offers are in Netherlands and 1 is located in Poland. So let's go quickly through what do we actually have and what does it actually mean that we see here. So we see there are 6 pieces of information that we see here. The first one is how many pieces are available and what's the minimum order size. So in this case, the minimum order size for the first 2 offers is 936, which actually is a container. So basically those are container orders. In the last one, you can buy straight away from 1 piece. If we can also see the information of how much stock they have. So the first one has more than 6,000 pieces. The second has almost 5,000. The third has almost 2,000. We can see the price per watt peak. So in this case, it's 135, 136, and 156. Not surprisingly, given you can buy already 1 piece, this price is higher. So this gives us all the financial information that potentially will influence your decision when looking through and browsing sun.store. Additionally, we have the information about the location of the goods, so where the warehouse is. So for the first offer, the goods are located in Netherlands, the same case for the second one, and Poland for the third one. The next information is what kind of payment methods are available. So in this case is a secure payment. You can also pay with PayPal. The second, the same. The third, only secure payment. And now let's focus for a minute on the last information. So the badge, which describes the seller. So we have a trusted seller badge. We have a super seller badge. And there will be some offers. Let me go back to the summary. There will be some offers like this one. Here we go. That we have a lot. So let's just go and see all of them. That's the 435. You will see that some of the offers have no badge at all. The fact there's no badge at all doesn't mean we don't perform a diligence when we are allowing sellers on the platform. So if you go to just on the trusted seller with your mouse or on the super seller, you see the additional information about what does it actually mean. And we can open the how do we verify sellers page. So briefly, I would like to take you through what are the 3 stages. So the 3 stages are, so any seller on a platform has to go through a verified seller stage. So in order to add, so as you know, because you've created an account on sun.store, when you're a business, you can create an account, you add your VAT number, and you're ready to buy. In order to sell on the platform, you have to go through an approval process. And when we do it, there is a background check, and we do a personal onboarding to ensure that, you know, the business, the seller is trustful, worthy, and it's a credible and actual business. So this is the bare minimum. And going back to the listing, all these offers from the other sellers, they are there. That's exactly how, they are the the verified seller status, and this means that they went through an onboarding, and we verified that they're a trustworthy partner. The next stage is the trusted seller. So when you're a trusted seller, of course, you are a verified seller. So this goes on top of it. Additionally, you have the secure payments. We've completed a warehouse check with you, with the seller. So what does it mean is that, or we were able to go and physically look at the warehouse, or we did it through a video conference meeting to make sure that there is a warehouse, the goods are actually located there. And this, to become a trusted seller, there had to be at least 3 successful transactions on sun.store. So if we go back to the list here, we can see that this specific product has 8 offers, and 2 of those are from trusted sellers, which should give you as a buyer an increased confidence versus what you see from somebody who doesn't have a badge. The highest level, so the 3rd level that we have, is the super seller. So the super seller is, of course, a verified seller, a trusted seller, and additionally, it's somebody who has exceptional customer service. So for us, this is really important. And this includes not only the response time, so how quickly you get a response to your message in a negotiation that we'll go through in a couple of minutes, but also the cancellation rate. So we were, our objective is to have no cancellation rate. So this is a very strict limit that we have on sellers to become super sellers. And also for convenience of the buyers, the automated delivery cost has to be activated so that you can decide to make the purchase straight away. So this is the additional criterion. And the second additional criterion is we had 3 successful transactions for the trusted seller. As a super seller, it has to be 10, and not in the history, but in the last quarter. So in the running quarter, so if we're currently in April, January till March, there had to be at least 10 successful transactions, no cancellations, delivered with a happy buyer. So coming back to the list of the offers, you see straight away what is the level of the seller, excuse me. And this should help you to make a decision where you want to focus your time and effort. Additionally, what we provide on the platform, if we go to the search, we see that on the top left you can have you have the filters. You can actually search for super sellers, and this way you will have only offers for products which are from super sellers. So if for you the quality, the response time, making sure that the secure payments are on, all those are very important, then we have a way for you to filter straight away only offers with the super seller badge. And you will not see others, and here you can browse and you can decide if you would like to look for a specific product. Let's go to Fronius in this case, and you can see that this, again, the secure payment is here. We'll go in a few minutes what exactly it means, but you have more guarantee of what kind of seller you are dealing with. Okay, before moving to a specific negotiation, let me check if there are any questions at this stage. Okay, I can see no questions at this stage. So let's move to the second part. Okay, so what we want to discuss is also negotiation. So when we go to a very specific product. So let me just click in one of the inverters. Okay, so you should see now when I clicked on a specific inverter. So in this case, it's a SunGrow. It's a 50, reasonably large one. And we have the offer page. So let me go quickly and tell you what do we see here. So on the offer page, we still continue to see the product because we want to make sure that if you decide to buy or if you want to start negotiations, you know what is the product that you're dealing with. So we have the product details. If you go to the bottom of the page, you'll have all the additional technical details, the physical details, and of course the technical specification. So at any point of time, you can simply download it, and you can just have a look. What is the file? We have additional information which were not available in the previous screen. So the first one is a description of the offer. So this is the specific description that was provided by the seller. So this is how they describe the product. And we start having the more detailed commercial information. So one is the packaging and the price list. So you can see that on sun.store, the seller can decide to have a progressive pricing. So based on number of units, you see straight away what is the price you will get. So if you want the most attractive price, well, you need to get at least 25 pieces, unless, of course, you negotiate and you get a different rate from the seller. The packaging, that's a reasonably large inverter. So on a pallet, there are only 4 pieces that will fit, and 168 pieces in a container. So if you're doing larger purchases, you'll see that you will, if you get above 168 pallet pieces, you will go to a second container. On the right-hand side, we have more information on the specific offer. So we have the reminder what kind of seller it is. So if it's a super seller, we have this information. If there is a secure payment, PayPal options. You can see how many pieces are available. So in this case, 187. What's the MOQ, so minimum order quantity, 1 piece. And what's the price per piece? So you can see this price here links exactly to the ranges that we have in a price list. So if we go and we increase to 5 pieces, automatically you get the better price. And if you go to 10, and so on and so forth. If you go to pallets, again, if it's 1 pallet, 2 pallets, 3, once you get to 7th pallet, which gets you to 28 pieces, so above 25, you get the best price. The next, and sorry, there are also containers. So you can straight away say, I just want a container, and this is 168 pieces. You see what's the cost, the total cost. So that's basically the per piece cost, number of pieces, and it provides you the net price. The section here in the middle will tell you about the delivery or pickup. So if the seller enabled the options, so in this case, there is a delivery. The warehouse is located, and you get the country and the start of the postcode, just to make sure that you cannot, that you see where it is. And you see if the goods are now. What does it actually mean? The goods are physically in the warehouse. On sun.store, we also goods which are incoming, and then you will see a specific date. For example, the 25th of April, not today. And how long does it take for the warehouse to have the goods ready? In this case, it's 5 days. I see a question about the what happens if we are not able, if there is no delivery to my country. So you see on the bottom the list of countries to which this seller will deliver. Why there's a limitation? Some products have limitation based on the market. And this could depend, for example, on the network, especially the grid. And especially in inverters, the sellers have to be aware to which markets the goods are going. And if the destination countries are not listed here, you will not be able to purchase and ask for the specific country. Here, before you choose where you want it to be delivered, you can you have your addresses. So in this case, I have an address in France, in Austria, and in Poland. So my default one is in France. And you can see I don't know how much will be the delivery. And I need to ask the seller because there is a price on request. If I change my address to a different one, for example, in this case, Austria, still I don't have the details and I don't have the details. So I have to start a negotiation to get the price for the delivery. Alternative option of transportation is a pickup. So pickup is when the buyer decides to go and collect the goods at the warehouse. It has to be enabled by the seller. Currently, on sun.store, we allow 3 pickup times. So we allow Xworks, FCA, and CIF, which mainly differ by the type of, by what's happening with the paperwork around the goods. So the most popular is Xworks. So basically, all the paperwork is on the buyer. If you do the pickup, you know where the warehouse is located. So the 2 digits of the postcode is sufficient for any logistic partner to estimate you the cost, how much it will be to pick up the goods and deliver to your address. And you know how quickly they'll be ready and what is the pickup cost. We can see on the platform it's usually 0 or very, very minimal. The sellers they just make it available free of charge. So a small difference that you see here is so first of all, without the price on request, if you want a delivery, you are not able to do a buy now. The only option available is the chat with seller. On the other hand, if you go to pickup, here you are able to pick up the goods, and suddenly the buy now option or add to cart, they are straight away available, and you still can do chat with the seller, but you are not, you don't have to. You can go straight away to it. There's a question about how do I know who the seller is? It's a great question. So sun.store is a B2B platform which is anonymized. So what you know, that's why we have the badges, which we're going through today. So we give you the additional information and the comfort of what is the quality of the seller. You see how many goods they have, where they are located, what are the prices, and so on and so forth. But you don't see the name of the seller. This is only known to you once you confirm and you validate the transaction. It's not known until then. Okay, so coming back to this one. So once we have all the information, and let's say we're interested in those 4 pallets of the SunGrow 50 kilowatt inverters. We want it to be delivered to France. And now with 4 pallets, we can see that actually we know as sun.store that the cost of the delivery should be around 320 to 370 euros. So with the higher quantity, we were able to get the estimation. Let's see if we can get the cost for other locations. So let's see. So you see for Austria, for the address next to Vienna, actually the seller has a price list. So remember I told you before that in order to be a trusted seller and of course super seller, you need to have the price lists for logistics. So in this case, this seller has the price list. And what's very important, you as a buyer, you get the information on the cost of how much the delivery will be. And suddenly your buy now button is enabled because you have all the required information to finalize the purchase. You know how many pieces you're buying. You know what's the price. You know what's the logistics, how much it will cost you for the delivery. So you have all the information and you can go straight away to buy now. Okay, so let's go back to the scenario and let me just check if there are any additional questions. Okay, not at this stage. So let's start the negotiation. So let's assume we actually are interested in something more. So before we start a negotiation, we just confirm all the details. So you can still change or add a delivery address. You have the number of pieces you've decided to buy. So in this case, 4 pallets. You know the details, and let's assume we want 4 pallets, but we still want a better price. Just wanted to check if I can get a better price. Here we go. So we send the inquiry, and this gives us a new screen, the new screen, which is our negotiation screen. So we have all the information about the product that we're buying. We have the information about the logistics. We have the chat, and I'll talk about the chat in a second. We have the payment and proceed to checkout. You see that here, I can't press it because I don't have the delivery price. Without the delivery price, I'm not able to proceed. I have my chat. Oh, here we go. Already got a response from my from the seller straight away. I have the auto translation. So in your profile, you can set the chat of the language of the chat that you want to have for you, and you will see in the set language. So in this case, I have it all set to English, which means that if the seller is from Portugal, Romania, Italy, it doesn't matter what language they use, I will see all my responses in English. And here I can see that the seller is willing to negotiate. And let's see what it will be. So, we can ask them directly on the chat. On the right-hand side, we have the status of the transaction. So every step is well recorded. So here we go. We see that there is a new proposal that they actually changed the unit price from 2,023 euros to 2,000 euros. So they gave us about, in this case, almost 400 euros proposal. Something very important to keep in mind, the price offer is valid for 3 business days. So for 3 business days, if you achieve to negotiate any discount, it will stay and it will be for you. If you don't confirm the transaction within the 3 days, the price will go back to the one from the offer. So let's check if we can go to the checkout. Well, we still can't, because you can see here, we still don't have the delivery cost. So thank you. So let's, we can say it's good. We can, of course, continue negotiating, but let's assume we're happy. So okay, this part is done. And let's ask the logistics, yes? So how much will be the transportation to France? So we know that the goods are located in Poland, but we don't know how much it will cost us. Additionally, at the bottom, you can see we have a section for other attachments. So if we would like to add an attachment to this negotiation, at this stage, we can always just press browse. Or we can ask the seller for some additional information if it's not by the just a text, they could just tell us in the in a file, not in a response. Okay, so we're waiting for the seller. So we're waiting for the proposal on logistics. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so they're saying that it will be 412 euros. So let's see if they update it. So something very important is, as long as they don't add it to the negotiation, we are not able to proceed to checkout. So we can see that they're asking us before they update it, 412. I can pay 400. So let's say, okay, 412 is close enough. Let's say we say we want to pay 400, not 412. We can see now something important happened. So they've added the estimation. Now they change it to 400. So we're even more happy. And now we can proceed to checkout. So once we have all the details, at any point of time as a buyer, you can decide to proceed to checkout. It doesn't mean you have to. We can still ask for some details. It could be a new product, and we would like to have some more information about the product. So we can ask, could you please share an installation guide for this inverter? Okay, so let's ask for some additional information before, just to make sure that we are comfortable with it. Coming back to the question on knowing who the seller is, at the bottom we can see the status of the seller. So we always check the VAT. So there are public databases where we can check. So we always check at the time of the negotiation that there is a VAT properly registered for the seller, because things can change over time. We did the company check and we did the warehouse check. So you have those information. Okay, so we've asked for some installation guide, and now we can see that the seller has attached the file, and we can see that there is a file that appeared here. We can download it, and we can quickly open it. And let's see. Okay, so I got an installation guide from the seller. So it's a grid connected inverter. I can see all the details. Once we're happy, we don't have any more questions, we can decide to proceed to checkout. So what does it actually mean that we proceed to checkout? We go to a summary of what we've negotiated. So we get a reminder, what is the product, how long it will take for the goods to be sent, how many pieces, in this case, pallets we're buying, what is the total cost, what is my billing address, what is my delivery address, what are the available payment methods, and what is and basically option to proceed to pay. So let me go back to the negotiation chat, and so that I can show all the payment options. Let's please change to one pallet. Hop, and this way I'll be just able to show you all the options, and we'll be able to go to the last stage. Hop, here we go. So I'm waiting for it because the value, why am I asking just to change? Just to show you. Okay, so this is one pallet, and okay, so let's do proceed to checkout. Here we go. So we're back to this screen, and I just want to focus now a couple of minutes on the payment methods. So in the last case, we didn't have the payment gateway because there's a limit. There's a limit of in terms of the value of the transaction when the payment gateway through PayPal is active or not. And that's why we had to keep it below the limit to make sure that it's active. So what we can see in terms of payment methods. So the payment methods are based on what you saw on the tags. So you saw the secure payment protection tag, and you saw the PayPal tag. And there is also the wire transfer, which is a very classical prepayment. So if you proceed with the wire transfer, you get a payment order with an account number of the seller. You send the money, and based on this, once the money is received by the seller, they will ship the goods. When it comes to the middle method, so the secure payment. So the secure payment method is a partnership between sun.store and Stripe. So Stripe is an international payment and finance, especially fintech company, which helps us to make it the most secure for you as a buyer. So the way it works, and let me just show you on the screen, it will be just easier. Here we go. Okay, so the way it works as a secure payment. So when you proceed with secure payment, you get a payment ordered, which is issued by sun.store. And on this payment order, you receive all the details which are required for you to make the transfer. And what's really important, that the bank account you receive is not a seller's account. They don't get the money to their bank account. They get it to a virtual account. They can see the money, but they can't access it. So you get this very unique number, and the unique number is only for you as a buyer and the seller. Based on this pair, you get this number. In a second step, you transfer the money to this bank account. Once the money is on this bank account, the seller gets a notification. They can see that the money is there, but they're not able to access the funds. So they see the money is there, and based on this, they ship the goods. Or if you've picked the pickup option, make the goods available for pickup. When do they get the money? They only get the money when the goods are actually delivered or picked up, and we get the confirmation in the system. So, or a road consignment document, so-called a CMR, or a warehouse confirmation that the goods were dispatched, and that there is no complaint from the buyer. That's the moment when the seller gets the money. So they don't get the money until you get the goods or you pick up the goods. So it's, as I said, is the most secure way of payment. I can see a question about any amount. So if the question is around, is there a limit to this transaction? No, there's no limit. You can pay for something which costs 50 euros, or you can pay for something which costs 500,000 euros. And very important, there is no fee for buyer. So as a buyer, you don't pay any fee. The only thing you get is the protection. So if there is any issue with the goods, you can get a refund, and the money will go back to your account. So this gives the safety net, which we think is very important, and we want to make sure that we have more and more sellers with the secure payment option. Currently, we have about 60% of our sellers with secure payment protection on, and we're pushing and we're working hard with our sellers to make it happen. When it comes to the fee to the seller, there is a fee which is 0.5% of the transaction, which is capped on 5 euros. So regardless if a transaction is €500,000, its still maximum fee is 5 euros, so much less than a bank transfer. And this fee for sellers is being refunded by sun.store. So at this point of time, this service is also free for the seller. Okay, there's a question about more payment methods. Let me touch on it in a second. There's one more payment method, which is a PayPal. So if you go to PayPal, Probably most of you heard about the online digital payment method, which is PayPal. It's a special account. You can pay there using your card. So you can pay there using your credit cards. You can have money on the PayPal account. So there are various ways you can pay. What's important with this payment method is that there is an additional fee which is charged by PayPal, and this goes on the buyer. So comparing to the seller, which had a fee which is being reimbursed for Stripe and is completely free for the buyer, the PayPal payment is not free and requires additional fee. You see it straight away. So we provide you with full transparency. So you see it here in the summary of the payment, and we see it in the payment fee, and it's being added to the total. When it comes to future payment methods, what we are working on is to introduce more payment methods which will be tailored to your needs. And the first one, which we'll be bringing in the coming month or month and a half, will be a buy now, pay later option, which also will partner with an external company like Stripe and like PayPal, which will provide a full payment to the seller and will enable the buyer to repay the transaction over a specified period of time between 30 to 90 days. So this will give you a benefit of being able to buy something straight away and pay over time, so that usually helps you with your cash flow and cash liquidity. Okay, so let's proceed so I can show you a little bit the second part of the negotiation, which is post the confirmation. So let's pick the wire transfer, because this will enable us to simulate the activities. So once you proceed to pay, remember there are terms and conditions. You always have them at the bottom of our page. When you decide to pay, you have basically a buy-sell agreement, which orders you to pay and to finalize the order. So once you press confirm, you go back to your main screen. The main screen for negotiation and the transaction is our screen that we reviewed previously. And now we can see additional information. So we can see that the status has changed to transaction confirmed, and we are waiting for the payment. So the platform is waiting for the payment. It's been added here as well. And we see additional places for attachments at the bottom. So we can see that we see a payment order. So the payment order will provide us with all the details which are required to perform pay for the transaction. We see place for payment confirmation. So once it has been paid, the buyer and the seller, both sides can upload a document saying, yes, the money has been paid. There is a place for final invoice. And very important, there are details about the logistics. So there is a place to paste by the seller the tracking link. So you see where the goods are. And for any consignment, document, packaging slip, that will be the confirmation of delivery. The chat stays on, it's active. It continues to be the medium for you to communicate with the seller. So, thanks, I will pay soon. So once, you can, at any point of time, you can continue to add additional information. So let's assume we've made a payment and we want to add the document. So we've added the document that we've paid, so the payment confirmation. So we can see that the transaction has been paid now, and you can see that the status of the transaction is paid. And now we can, ask, okay, I paid. Can you please send the goods? I am waiting for the tracking link. So it's very important for us. The seller will have to upload the final invoice, but for us at this point of time, it's important to get the tracking link because we want to make sure that the goods are on the way to our address in Alsace in Strasbourg, and we're waiting for the tracking link for the seller to upload. Here we go, should be coming soon. If the seller is responsive. Let's see if there are any questions in the meantime. Okay, there's a question about notifications. So there are 3 types of notifications. So the first one is we get notifications here. There's a bell. You can see the notification center. So you have all the notification related to your negotiations. So for example, now I get, your orders, so the tracking link is available. So if we go here, it will take us to the specific negotiation. And you can see, okay, so the seller confirmed they have received the money, and they decide, then they attach the tracking link. So that's one. The second is the browser notification. So if you have the website on, it will give you a pop-up saying there is a notification. And the third one is there are notifications in your email. So you will get an email notification. You can control them. I'll show you in a second where to control them. So if you go to your profile, you have a section about notifications, and you have your notification center. So this is all the notifications that you receive. The one we just received is just here. You have your email notification. So this is the email to which you will receive, and the settings. So you can always say that you don't want to get a notification by email for something. You can always change your marketing consent. Oops, sorry about that. And at any point of time, you can go back to your purchases, and you'll see that this is our negotiation, and we have the additional documents. And in this case, it's a link. It was sent by DPD, so that's a parcel tracking. So we can simply copy and paste it, and we see it just straight away. So once the goods are delivered, there is time for the packaging slip, or in CMR in this case, to be uploaded, and the final invoice. So we can just ask for the final invoice, and when we wait for it, let me just go back for a second to the payment order. We skipped this part, but I actually wanted to show you how do I know where to pay. And there was a question about the seller, and when you get the payment order, when you have the information, you actually get the information who the seller. So we're showing an example where the seller is sun.store, and we have our address. So remember, we had all the details. We have the bank account. So just important reminder that this is a bank account of the seller in this case, because we didn't pick any secure payment method. We know what we have purchased. So we've purchased the quantity and the amount we have to pay. So it's all in a tab. Here we go. So we can see it straight away here again. So we see who the seller is in the payment order, the bank details, and we see what we've purchased and what we have to pay. Okay, let me go back here, and I see there's a new question. Okay, so very good question. What is the process when something happened with the goods? Of course, so first of all, the chat stays on, so you can continue to discuss and say, one inverter is damaged. So you can continue to have that discussion. There is a always a logistics partner that is in charge of sending the goods. And if the delivery was made by sun.store, so if sun.store acted as the logistics partner, then of course we will interact in this negotiation and make sure we help you as much as possible on the logistics side as well. More on the logistics will be in the next webinar, and especially on the logistics by sun.store. If sun.store was not the logistics partner, we'll of course continue to interact and help you to make sure that you have, you get to the outcome. But let's remember that the transaction is between the buyer and the seller, so it's also for the seller to react and make sure that all your queries and challenges that you have with the goods are being addressed. This includes the refund policy. So at the bottom of the page, there is a return and refund policy. So if you feel like you're not getting your rights appropriate, there's always the legal document that you can refer to. And we as sun.store, we always monitor the transactions to make sure that you get all help resolved as soon as possible. It goes back also a little bit to the badges that we've discussed with the super sellers. The responses time are the best, the quickest as well. The quality of the service and the response time is one of the metrics. So we also help to make sure that you get the response in cases of dispute as well. Okay, so I went through all the parts I wanted. So this chat, as I said, it remains open. In this case, we've received the final invoice. So you will see that the change of the product, of the offer, is all in the statuses. We have the final invoice. And as I said, we can start a dispute here. One inverter is damaged, or they say we can manage some refund. You can add some pictures, for example. You can add a picture of the damaged good so that you answer, you get your, for example, in this case, money or back, or you get new product sent, whatever the nature of dispute is. Okay, let me go to our main page and pause here for a second to see if there are any more questions before we conclude. Okay, let's just review. I think we've answered all the questions along the way. So if you have more questions, you can always find us on sun.store. There's at the bottom of the page, there's always, you can always contact us. You know where to find us, you can help. There's always the chat function. You can chat with us directly on the platform, and we're always here to help. I would like to invite you straight away to our next webinar, which will be in about 6-7 weeks, where we'll focus on the logistics, but also on a very new and exciting functionality that we'll be bringing to the platform. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining and participating. Thank you for all the questions, and looking forward for your successful business on the platform. Bye-bye.